Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel.
Hello. Buonasera.
Thank you. You have no idea that in my mind, as the countdown was happening, I'm like, ooh, I could say like, bienvenido. Then I realized I was thinking that the Will Smith Miami song
Stop.
has nothing to do with Italy. At least one of us knows.
You know, it took my brain a minute to get accustomed to pronouncing things in Italian, and I did sing a few words and listen to a few key words before I got there because, like, my brain stuttered between French,
Yes.
English, and Spanish. I'm like, no, Italian. They emphasize different parts of the word, but they sound similar.
Right? So welcome back, Mel.
Woo woo! Oh my gosh, can I just give a nod and an early star to you and Johnny? It made my heart so happy. I know it's a very secret and only like 2 people listen to it, but like it made my heart spill over with love and joy.
I did not know because like I was so because in my mind I'm like I don't know because if I press record with you I kind of know what to expect. I know how we work. And so during
Yeah.
the week I told him like I don't know. Like I don't know if I need time off. Like I don't know if I'm going to record with you. But the idea that it would be fun to try and I said, "Well, do it, but I don't know if I'll do anything with it." And so that meant that he had to like really be with me and watch, not half watch. And I didn't tell him to his face. I just read everyone else's comments and gave them accolades mentally. And I think I waited maybe like after comments and after they were, and I'd show him. But then eventually I did say, honestly, you did pretty good. Cause like he had no notes. Like it's,
Oh,
I wrote things.
wow.
Yeah. He like watched with me. He had 0 notes. He's like, let's do this. Cause he was going to play hockey after. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't think I can look at you because I don't look at you when we do this. And now he's like in the closet with me, sitting right beside me. The only thing I regret not doing was that I did not put the mic in the middle of us. I had it on my head, so he sounds
Oh
further
my
away.
word.
Yeah, so it was like I was just so nervous, and then immediately, God, he was just being Johnny, and so I was like, I didn't know what to do, so we just did whatever, and yeah, yes, it happened.
It
And then today,
happened.
and then to this week, because as usual, he doesn't follow the rule to stay silent, and I said, "You are not on this week. Turn it down." Don't need to hear this. And then he's like, am I making an appearance later? And I'm like, where? And I'm like, no, you're not.
He
Maybe
wants
another
to
time.
do we wanna make up a segment for him?
No, don't indulge.
You know I love him.
We shall see. I mean, at least, but I told him, I'm like, this isn't good. And he's like, why? I'm like, because if we can't record because of Mel, then it means I'm still doing it. I'm like, I told him, I'm like, it went okay. And now the door's open. Now it's an option. Now when people know if Mel has something, they know that you're an alternative. I go, I don't know now.
So you need to go away, and then we need to train Brandon, so they have the 2 of them.
Oh my God, could you imagine? Okay, we have to start with Anna's investigation. Like, to me, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is happening. She's in a room with Chase and Dante, and she's like, okay, conflict of interest, anyone? I'm like, yeah, guys, what's that? Because I was sitting there being
Okay.
like, this is
Oy.
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Okay, this is like a 60-year show, but we've been watching it as teenagers. I've never heard anybody ask this question. And on top of that, we got a murder board. I was like, what
I
is
know.
happening?
But maybe
What?
that's why they've never solved anything. Because they're like,
Every
we don't. We didn't really like put the details together. We left them in separate files.
Every detective show I've watched always has a murder board.
I know. But like the fact that because they've somewhat addressed conflict of interest. Like it was a big deal, you know, the fact that Dante's on the force and his dad's a mobster. But
Yes.
now I'm like, so the suspects are literally your roommates and everyone's cool with this. Got it. This makes no sense. Like, okay, conflict of interest. I trust you. You trust me. Everybody trust circle. So let's split it down the middle. Dante, you take your brother. Okay?
I can't.
Chase, you take your ex-wife. And let's just get started. Let's get
Go
started.
team.
Yes.
Go murder team on 5.
Oh my gosh. And I was just laughing because of all the times citizens of Port Charles have been pulled in for an investigation, this is the first time where 100% of the suspects got a lawyer.
I didn't even know that there were that many lawyers that
But there
could help
aren't
them.
any because some of the lawyers are involved in some legal issues themselves.
Yes.
So that's the thing, like, because like Rick is unavailable.
On a detox.
Okay. He's on a detox. He's on a like cleanse. But this was so funny to me watching it happen this way because that's how it works. You have a lawyer, and usually lawyers are pretty okay. And then you have Anna trying to finagle, and it just wasn't working. Like we started with Alexis. And I mean, you want to go toe to toe with Diane? Okay.
Right?
I absolutely loved it. What did you think of that questioning?
It was amazing because it's like Anna is just new and she's like, I'm gonna play this game. I'm gonna pretend I'm a detective
I
and you are gonna answer all of my questions. And then like we're gonna solve the case.
She tried, but that's what I love the most is that we see the cops try to do their thing. And I think it was just so satisfying having them all have a lawyer and having basically them say things to Anna that it just made my day. Watching everybody point out idiotic things to Anna.
And I think as a whole, I think that was so much for us. Like I was watching it
Yes.
thinking about you. I'm watching Dante, Chase, and Anna. So they started off like, go team murder. And then they all tried to go out and air quotes trick people and solve the case. So like, we haven't
Oh
solved a case
no.
in a really long time, guys. So like we're gonna try to maneuver people who have committed crimes before, who are well connected. We're gonna try to trick them into telling us things. I'm like, seriously? And then try to guilt them into giving them answers. I'm like, your tactics and your training is awful.
I literally wrote something about Dante and Michael and guilt because I'm like Dante's adopting a lot of the Anna tactics.
Yeah.
It's probably that hardcore WSB training. Ask, cry, make him feel guilty. It's like you're training to be an agent, not like a mom. You know what I mean? To adult children.
But she's too. I'm like,
Get it
Anna is
together.
Anna is their superior, but you're so right. So that's what was so comical to me. It was like, okay, here's Anna, who's the lead. She's trained Chase, spend time with him. Same with Dante. They're all using the same tactics. And it's so laughable.
Just tell me you don't need a lawyer. I was like, I can't watch this. Like, not only are there like there's no conflict of interest, and they start getting emotional, right? Because you're
Right.
coming in and being a cop, to my knowledge, has something to do with facts. So now they're pulling people in, they're getting a timeline, and they have a lawyer. So you have facts, and it's up to you if you want to like corroborate, disprove, whatever. But to just stand there and be like, I don't feel it's true. Can you prove that it isn't? Can you guys prove that it isn't? Like, that's the point. Know it in your heart as much as you want, but you don't take your heart to the courtroom. You take facts. And the whole time that Michael was being questioned, I loved watching Dante's face and like his disgust
Yes.
as they talked about his alibi. And to be honest, I took offense. He's like, she's a sex worker. You know, you can like buy an alibi. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. She's a professional. What makes you think that just because of her line of work, she could be bought? In this case, it's true, but it doesn't mean that it's always true. But I liked where he was going. But again, you cannot prove that. And I love how that worked out because Marco was like, "Do you wanna, like, work things out with Jacinda?" And Michael was just like, "No." And part of me was like, "What's happening?" Right? Because it's like, Michael, this is not his first rodeo.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about Abby, but
Okay.
it's not his first rodeo, but Marco seemed really disappointed that he couldn't question Jacinda, but it turns out, like, Michael, like, again, he's got this. Like, he's on top of this.
So
Not
to speak.
yeah, so to speak.
He's an adjacent Rhett. But anyways, I love the picture. I love the picture you posted because like I do remember Abby, and that's what I want. I wanted him to look at Dante and be like, well, don't you remember like my past? Like
Yeah, because he seems to be like, "I don't believe that you randomly hopped into bed with a sex worker." I'm like, "Well, would you random believe he impregnated the chef while he was married?" The fact that Dante is so appalled, I'm like, "What's your deal?" Like, I
I
don't
know.
understand. Like, not only did Michael come in for questioning, you're like, "You know what? I job seriously, and I'm gonna show up, and I'm gonna question my brother. Then I'm gonna ask him to his face, 'You're lying, aren't you? Tell me, tell me.'"
Tell
You're
me.
telling me you're comfortable Sending your brother to jail for the second time. Didn't learn anything from that lesson at all?
Right? Oh,
You
so
know what I mean? Like,
frustrating.
it was manslaughter, but at the end of the day, he was protecting his baby sister from being kidnapped by someone who literally ripped her out of mama's womb, accidentally kills her, goes to jail, is then raped in jail, and Dante's like, "I'm all here for the justice." What?
Never learns that one.
So I just find that really odd that Dante's pushing. Like, this is one of those things where it's like, call a friend. Go, like, vent in Anna's office about what you really think is going on.
Mhm.
But the fact that you're comfortable trying to get your brother to incriminate himself is beyond me. And this is exactly why you have a wall with your family, because they're like, we don't want to go to jail. And Dante's always trying to put us in jail.
I don't know why they don't invite me to Thanksgiving dinner.
That's why. So the worst. So, like, okay, so we're watching people get questioned. The worst one for me was Curtis for so
Tell
many
me,
reasons.
tell me. Yes,
For
tell
Curtis
me.
himself, obviously, but for all of the things surrounding it. Like, I was like, what is happening right now? For Chase, Chase is like, oh my gosh, getting a lawyer means you're guilty. And I'm like,
Since
excuse
when?
me? And he's like, you used to work in law enforcement. And I'm like, yeah, so shouldn't you both know the law then? What's going on? Like, you're allowed to have a lawyer. Why are you telling him if you have one, it looks like you're guilty? And then he shows up with a lawyer. And then
Yes.
Anna immediately is like, well, you're lawyering up. You're coming from a defensive stance. And that implies guilt. Carly bursts in. Carly, are you sure you want to speak? Do you want to get a lawyer?
I
Like,
can't. I
what
can't.
is happening? And the thing is, if they're really like on it and doing this on purpose, I find it funny because it absolutely is driving me crazy. Like,
Yeah.
they are playing Anna exactly like they're basically making me feel crazy, but not crazy, because I'm like, this is how I see Anna. And
Yes,
so I'm like, I'm
absolutely.
not nuts. Like, what I see of her is real, and that's what you're showing. It was incredible. So finally, Curtis is there trying to protect himself. He, stands up to Chase, stands up to, Anna. I got my lawyer. And then what does he do? He can't account for the exact time that
Oh
Drew
my
was
word.
murdered.
What a dodo.
It's like wondering, I'm like, is he gonna say I was with Portia? And then Portia's gonna be like, actually,
I was having a way more fun, friend.
seriously. So now Curtis is stuck. I was alone for that small period of time. And then they're like, well, you hate him and there's no alibi, also no evidence. I think you're gonna go to jail for this one.
Well, we know how the PCPD works. A lack of evidence or lack of body means you're guilty. And now, if you get a lawyer, you're also very guilty.
Exactly. That's probably why things are wonky. I think that's exactly why. So he then goes to Portia, who said some things before he came in. So Portia was just sorting stuff out with Isaiah, saying things that I don't know that would come to mind. She's like, after like that, you know what I mean? After what Isaiah offered you, okay? Twice.
Apparently, many times.
Okay?
Exactly.
She says, thanks for the respite in your arms. No.
Girl got what she needed, and then she moved up.
Who talks like that? And then Isaiah, and this is the clincher. I think this line is definitely going to throw a wrench in what Curtis proposed, like proposing that we stay married so it
Mm,
looks good. Okay?
yes.
For who, I don't know.
So I don't know.
But then Isaiah says our private moments weren't that short. Their dialogue, I was like,
Amazing.
okay. So back to the fact that we have a lot of suspects and require many lawyers. And there's obviously going to be conflicts of interest because Diane cannot represent both Alexis and Michael for
Yes.
this murder. We're going to have to catch her on the second go round at the next murder.
Mhm.
So this is what I was thinking when I think about Curtis and that whole situation. I would love a reason, and this to me feels like one, to invite Portia's brother back to town.
Oh my gosh, your brother.
Right? He's a
Yes.
lawyer. Right now Portia's having fun with Isaiah, and to be honest, I'm loving Portia right now, loving how she stood up to Jacinda, being like,
Same.
hey, Dum Dum, you also committed crime. We all committed crime. Do you see where I'm going with this? Like, I love this. This is so good. I wish she used that on Drew.
I know.
You committed crime. I committed crime. Like, that's also true there. But anyways, so she's handling business. Curtis is now gonna have to behave, okay? Because in his alibi, he's like, I hung out with Jordan. And I want that on the record for everybody. Because
I
we're
love
so
her.
cute. Because we're so cute. And I just feel like Curtis needs a timeout from wife, all wife, both.
Wife.
So
Yeah.
I think it would be hilarious if, Portia's doing her thing because she can't tolerate Curtis. Because in their relationship, that's the whole point. When she was talking to Trina and saying stuff like, I don't know, it's my pattern, I lied to like Curtis a lot specifically. And I'm like, it's a pretty
What a
specific pattern,
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
And I just think, well, that's because of the situation Curtis creates. He creates such a high standard, and she's forced to walk on eggshells. Like, there's no unconditional love. There's no
No.
like acceptance. There's no room for anyone but like Curtis and all of his standards. So that's also why she feels forced to lie because she doesn't know that he'll go the distance. Because the moment she said, Hey, I'm married, when they were having an affair, he walked away. So,
Yeah.
she's like, he'll probably walk away every time I tell him a truth he doesn't like. I'm married. Trina's really your daughter. I committed a crime. I was blackmailed. He's just so unreasonable. So I would love it because Portia is so empowered. And apparently that is a relief to Trina. I don't know. I think it's a relief to Trina to know, hey, my mom's not really worried about Drew, so I don't have to feel bad that she's going to stress out with the blackmail over her head. But also finding out that my mom, is willing to pay the price as well. Like she's learned
Yes.
something from this. So whatever. Trina is like satisfied here. But I'm thinking, given the dynamic of Curtis always kind of holding stuff over Portia's head and she has to kind of like live up to his expectations, to be in a
Mhm.
situation where she really doesn't care and it kind of throws Curtis off balance to not really have any power or leverage in the situation because she really doesn't care what he thinks about her. And so she
Mhm.
has Isaiah. And so what if Curtis is like, well, I'm done with Portia. I'm going to go back to my game of wife ping pong. But then Jordan's
Mhm.
like, Portia's brother is back in town.
Yes.
And then Curtis's life, like, why is there no wife left for me? That would be funny for me.
That would be the best, quite frankly. I'm ready for it. I could see you play out in my mind. I like the way you did that. You went full circle.
But the thing with Curtis, like, while all that bugs me, what I did like, there was a flash of when he was like just threatening Drew, like being threatened.
Yes.
I was like, where has this guy been? That was a refreshing 30 seconds. I mean, Drew made it. He made
I
it.
think we feel the way everybody in Port Charles feels. We're like, we were ready for it's still technically
It's
a
still a whodunit.
whodunit,
It's still a whodunit.
and we don't know if they're gonna come back and like finish the job. But when he says words, he's such a good actor that when he opens his mouth, I just want it to stop.
But the funny thing was is that when he woke up, I was like, "Is he also mad he's alive?" Because he seemed angry. Like, he woke up and he saw Elizabeth and he was just mad. And the fact that he kept calling for Willow and never mentioned Scout, like, Elizabeth had to be
Yes,
like,
messed up.
"By the by, like, your daughter's cool too. She's okay." Like, what?
No.
I know, and then it's like he's hell-bent on pointing the finger at Michael even though it's like he was shot in the back and fell. You
I know.
didn't
What
say
is he gonna
anything.
remember? What reflection is he gonna see? What like traumatic memories are gonna come back?
Well, he's really special because I'm wondering if that would be, like, Willow's, like, redemption moment. As much as she's going along, like, she's gung ho, because like, last week, I really didn't know what on earth was going on with Willow, but this week it's made pretty clear that she hates him so much that she was avoiding him.
Yes, exactly that. However, it's like we still haven't seen her go full Nell. Like I wanted to see more of that.
Well, she might have done it in secret. Like, to be honest, I'm thinking it's probably between Willow and Michael and figuring out which one. And just knowing that, okay, I'm like, okay, so she hates him and she will lean on him because he's the only solution, whatever. But I'm thinking like it could serve her. Like, what if down the line she doesn't really allow him or she somehow helps to save Michael? Like, that's like, you're right. She hasn't gone full Nell to kind of like have a redemption moment, but it could be the action that puts them back in an orbit. Doesn't mean like they'll be back
Okay,
together, but puts her back in like normal, stable mode where she can like be around the kids and kind of like develop her character, even if it means she's a bit edgier moving forward.
okay. So it's not exactly like super exciting soapy world, but I'm hoping that when we saw that scene of Michael in his car in the rain, which was like, wow,
Yeah.
but he saw Willow and that he's protecting Willow, but the bargaining chip is go to therapy.
Oh my
Like,
gosh,
I
when
won't turn you
you
in because we don't care if he dies or not, but, like, I want you to be better genuinely as the kid's mom.
oh my gosh, my mouth is open, and my face
Mhm.
is hot, and my
Oh
hands are
god.
touching my cheeks. The moment you said he saw Willow, I'm like, "They co-murdered."
Whoa, I got goosebumps.
What if they co-murdered?
That would be so unexpected.
Because now I'm thinking this, we wanted a whodunit, but we were also craving, like, a part 2 of stealing one of Ryan Chamberlain's organs for Jordan.
Yes,
So remember
yes.
that, it was more of, like, a little conspiracy, right? With nobody kind
Mhm.
of acknowledged each other, and they had that really goosebumpy scene where everybody just kind of, like, walked away, and you kinda saw all these people that were, like, involved secretly. So, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be so excited if not only do we get a whodunit, but there is, like, a coordinated effort of people who know, and we're not gonna find out till later, that those people knew and protected each other, same like how the Ryan Chamberlain thing ended.
Oh my god, I love it.
What if they
I want it.
co-murdered?
I mean,
'Cause then she
co-parenting,
can't.
co-murdering.
Right,
Yeah.
because she could go along with Drew to be like, "Yeah, I hate him, let's go with your idea," but
Mhm.
taking Michael down will take her down.
Yes.
Interesting. Oh, I'd love a co-murder.
Me too. We need it.
2 shots. Right? But I loved it when Carly burst in. I was like,
Yeah.
"What's she doing?" And then she's like, "I have to talk to him on someone's behalf." I'm like, "Whose behalf?" But you know what I loved? I really loved that she came in for Danny, but for Sam also. Like, I kinda love, like, even at Sam's funeral, just the way that Carly and Elizabeth spoke and how Carly and Elizabeth, despite their, like, complex relationship, really are, like, trying to be true to Sam. You know what I mean? They have a bizarre bond, but they haven't forgotten her, you know what I mean? And I love that she came in. I love the way she told him off because I'm like, "That's the Carly I know." Coming right in, being whatever, and then looking at like, "You're hopeless," and then looking at Willow being like, "Yeah, you too."
I love it too. Like, that was Carly definitely in her element, but I'm loving what you're seeing about, honoring Sam.
Yeah.
Carly and Sam and Elizabeth have formed this huge bond and come such a long way. So not only did she stand up for Sam, but did you notice that when Lucas was talking to Elizabeth and the whole like Carly's threat came out in their
Yeah!
conversation, Lucas
Yeah!
specifically said that she basically wouldn't touch like you and her grandkids. And I thought that was such a
Yeah!
huge statement that Elizabeth is truly torn and she does not want to have to say anything on Drew's behalf. But I'm just loving how they weaved it all together. I think it was all this week, but I can't remember if it was within the same episode. And then, like you said, seeing Carly fight for Sam and her side of things was just like made my heart happy.
Yeah, so when he said that, I'm like, "What?" Like, I was like, "Did I just hear?" Because, like, I mean, there definitely was a time where, like, Elizabeth would have been the first to go,
Oh yeah, big
or, like, get
time.
out of her way. But, like, that's the thing, though. I'm like, "Elizabeth, come on." You know, like, Carly has saved her. Like, right before Carly gets kidnapped, I think, by Ryan Chamberlain, she, like, does save Elizabeth from him or
Hmm.
something. You know, I just feel like you need to be part of the moms club fully. Like, I
Fully.
don't
Hmm.
respect the fact that Elizabeth ratted Alexis out. I don't. I think she should have went
Hmm.
to the police station being like, "I didn't see anything." Like, I think that,
Yes.
like, I would have loved honoring the moms club, as messed up
Yes.
as they are. They're good moms that do anything for their kids. And I think when it comes to Carly, when she's like, "Oh, they're gonna ask me and Drew knows." Hello, this is why you lawyer up. I don't recall. I
Exactly.
walked in, I don't recall. I was focused on Willow. I do not recall. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that she's debating and I have to tell the truth, I'm like, "No, you don't. You allowed a young mother, a pregnant girl, to be imprisoned at Cassadine Island and
True.
snuck in and gave her care, but you're like, "No, I have to tell the truth." It's like, "No, Elizabeth, there's a gray area, and you could absolutely choose to swim in it." And, like, I don't know, on her mom code, but whatever. Carly's covered anyway. Brennan has given her an alibi.
Yes, I love that, and Anna is super convinced that that's all cool.
That's what I mean. I'm like, "It just doesn't matter, like, what you think." She's like, "I think you're probably innocent, so I'm not gonna dig deeper into this because, like, I would never wanna actually be caught doing police work or my job."
It's
So
exhausting,
it
guys.
is exhausting. Speaking of Brennan, I gasped when I saw Valentine on the screen. Imagine if I saw him live, like, I mean, not even live, but outside of a
On
TV,
TV.
on my TV, like, outside of a screen, like,
Not
back on
double
the
screening?
show. Yeah, like, back on the show. That so happy. So happy.
I was shocked, like, when they said, like, "I need to talk to this person, this prisoner." Is it could it be? Like, I was really shocked that they had him on there, but I loved what followed next with the bargaining tip.
So did Charlotte and Valentine appear in the same episode, I think?
Our new Charlotte?
Yes, I was like,
Yes.
"Oh, look, Charlotte's they found you.
Found her!
You look different." So what strikes me about Valentine when I think about Drew is like Valentine, number one priority is Charlotte. Can I see Charlotte?
Yeah,
Everyone knows Charlotte is the most important thing to him. I feel so sorry for Scout, but
I
no one
know.
can say that about Scout. He's like, Willow, Willow, is Willow here? Does Willow want to see me? Kai, could you do me a favor since you won't do other things I asked you to? And I'm like, this is just
This is
off the charts. That was so funny when Kai went to go see him. It was so awkward, right? Like
yeah.
Drew was sleeping, like actually recovering, and Kai comes in so loud. Hi, Drew.
Bye!
Are you recovering? Wanted to say hello. Do you remember me being at your shooting? It's just like
Touching everything.
because it's like he's worried, right? He's like that he'll remember Trina. Like that was the whole thing. Will he remember Trina? And I'm thinking, to be honest, yeah. Because when it comes to the Ashford family, Drew's got nothing but leverage. Leverage on Stella, leverage on Portia, and
Yes,
all that's missing is leverage on Trina. He'll probably remember the voice. We should do something.
Those
No. Okay, back to Valentine and Brennan. This is my favorite part.
okay, tell
Favorite
me.
part. Oh my god. Lulu is getting it from all ends.
Love it.
Valentine, Brit,
Yes!
Ulrich. I'm like, oh my gosh, talk about payback. Like, honestly. So Brennan goes to Lulu. He needs Charlotte because at this point he's trying to save Joss.
Yes.
But someone else is already on the job. Okay. So it's so funny watching Lulu go over this conversation with Carly. Cause I'm like, this is so funny. Cause this conversation is actually about trying to save Jocelyn's life.
I know, it was messed up.
I don't know how Carly cousins with Lulu. Like, I really can't. Because, like, they've spoken many times, and why Carly keeps doing it, I don't know. But they obviously don't share the same opinion. Like, pretty much every time I've seen them have a conversation, Carly's finding all kinds of way to call her dumb, nicely, sometimes a bit more directly. She's calling her out constantly. And the fact that Lulu's standing there, I'm like, aren't you used to it by now that most conversations you have, most of the time when you share your point of view, people don't agree with you, particularly when it comes to your kids. There's way more of a, well, not just with them, but a controlling attitude. Like she comes from what's
Yes.
best for me, not so much, can I put myself aside and do what's best for Charlotte. And what I absolutely love that came from that scene is that it was made, like Lulu's position was made even more explicit when she used the word compete. Right?
Yes.
She's like competing with Obrecht and Valentine. I'm like, thank you. Some honesty finally, where you say crazy things, but for you to actually say, like, this is about me. I feel like I'm competing. And you have Carly being like, you're not competing. It's really not about that. Like, you'll never not be her mother. But I love that they validated this reality that for Lulu, it's like, I want to erase Valentine. Like, I don't like this reality. So rather than learn to live with what is, I am just going to keep trying to erase it and create a fantasy in my mind so solid that Valentine doesn't exist. That Charlotte, it's so obvious that Charlotte won't even talk to her. That she's like, oh, I didn't know Charlotte ever talks about her dad. Because, like, in my mind, I don't want that. It's completely, like, loony.
So loony, like, I can't I even wrote it in my notes, like, Lulu genuinely believes that because they don't talk about it at home, that Charlotte is fine and has forgotten about her father. Like,
Yeah,
what world are you
yeah,
living in?
it's better to suppress things. My mom did it, and she went catatonic. It was great.
It was great, guys.
It was so good. I ended up getting a room next to her, actually, so we got to spend so much time together.
Oh my god.
Wow, okay, so again, I guess I'm kind of fed up with most conversations involving Lulu. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
so funny. I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit. So, whenever there were Lulu scenes about parenting because she tries to parent Charlotte, that's when Brennan finds her.
Yes.
And she's like lecturing Charlotte, about some stuff. And Johnny just kept going like this. Coma moms. Am I right?
It's good. I like it. I like it.
Stop.
Oh,
Because like she's trying to deal with Charlotte being like, what you did was wrong. And then at one point when Charlotte's talking to Lulu, like, but which parent is she referring to? Because Charlotte says something about like knowing what it's like to have like a dangerous parent. And I know
uh-huh.
it sounds bad, but I'm like, I don't know if Charlotte's talking about Valentina or Lulu. I actually don't know in this moment. And then like Lulu's like, I'm gonna, like take everything away. Give me those car keys. And I'm like, so your punishment was you took the car and instead you're gonna drive her yourself to get her
I know. I
latte.
can't. I
I was
can't.
like, I think she'll learn her lesson now. You chauffeured her around. And just her whole thing about, like, you have to think things through. I'm like, I would have done the same thing at your age, and I'm like, "Do you still think you're Charlotte's age? Because you haven't
Apparently.
evolved, you haven't evolved." And then at one point, like, this part was true, like, what Brennan was tapping into, this idea that, like, she's not a regular kid. She literally says, "I'm a former fugitive mom. Growing up, I'm like, that line could not have happened. I'm like, that was said out loud. This is incredible. Like, I found it, first of all, hilarious. Hulu attempting to try to guide Charlotte to do the right thing.
Yes.
And even cooler, because we've
Totally.
seen Lulu, right? And we're like, this is completely insane, right? But to hear it from directly from her kids, like her rigidity, like watching that whole like Lulu Brooklyn storyline play out, how fixated she was and what constitutes the right thing. And it was so interesting watching Rocco and Charlotte talk. I'm like, this is a very like grown up conversation. Like, I loved listening to how Charlotte explained Valentine versus Brennan to Rocco, saying, like, your
Yeah.
dad's a cop. Right and wrong is like obvious, good guys, bad guys. In my dad's world, it's not that clear cut. I was like, this is such a fascinating conversation that I don't even know Lulu could keep up with.
Oh,
And
heck
then
no.
and then just like listening them to be like, well, we have to tiptoe around mom. For a long time, we were seeing Lulu hover around other people's lives.
Yes.
And now it's flipped where we're watching her life and she's not liking other people hovering and circling her life.
No, she does not.
So, as much as I wanted like this sort of justice between her and Brooklyn, this'll do. Like, this'll do. Zooming in and watching the impact of what it is to be Lulu and what this means for the people in her circle. Like, she's so busy throwing stones at other people's decisions, but we're watching like what's going on now. Like, you have Rocco being like, she doesn't want me to like have a like relationship with Obrecht and I'm curious about Brit. And then you have Charlotte who's like, she's trying to erase my dad and that's hard for me. And we have to
Hmm.
protect her feelings basically. So
Yes.
all of this was just so fascinating. Like I couldn't believe like we're finally here and we're like getting all of these details. And but in terms of watching her conversations with Carly, it just drives me nuts, right? It's like Lulu says something. Usually Carly doesn't agree. She has a different perspective, especially when it comes to parenting and giving way more space for the child, like to really fully consider their whole world and what's best for them.
Yes.
And then sometimes it's more direct, like I don't agree and they have a back and forth. But this one just bugged me because I'm like, oh, really? We're going to have to sit here and watch and pretend that Lulu is actually being an adult. Because in that scene, I'm like, she's pretending to be reasonable. She's pretending to be open when she's only talking to Carly so Carly can just agree with her. And as usual, that doesn't happen. So then she does
Mhm.
this thing where she's like, I'm gonna have to agree to disagree when it's code for like, I didn't hear what I wanted to hear. And then she went
Exactly.
exactly where Lulu goes. I'm her mother, I get final say, just wanting that control and power. And I found it fascinating because when Nina shows up, Nina is literally saying the exact same thing Carly did, except she came from a different perspective. Where Carly was saying, hey, let's, prioritize Charlotte. Nina just went and spoke Lulu's language. She was like,
She did.
you could be in charge and in power. You could be in control.
It's like, I love that she knew that. I mean, she had so many interactions with her in the time when Valentine was around and they were a couple.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to watch that happen, But it was really cool to see, like, the messaging was the same, like you said,
It's same,
Carly and
exactly
Nina's
the same.
absolutely the same. It's so interesting because, we wanted this whole Carly Nina thing to work, and it all went weird and wonky in an upside down world. But I love that they're put in similar situations to still, in a sense, work together, but not.
Oh my gosh, I'm loving this, like, extended family that's pretty much Lulu's worst nightmare, and
Yup.
now we understand, like, not only did Nina get invited to the hospital to be a buffer, but she
Mhm.
needed to catch Obrecht. So that was funny realizing
That's
Nina's
amazing.
rule. But no, I enjoyed the conversation. The fact that you point out that Nina has history with Lulu, so kind of knew how to speak with her, but also the fact that Nina has evolved as a person, right? And now that she
Yes.
has become, a mother and all of her experiences with Willow, she's kind of learning that mom code a little. So I
Yes.
did kind of like watching Nina navigate that. Jason came back. He definitely got the call
He got the call. That was exciting. I was a little nervous, to be honest. You?
of who was going to be there because after we were done the podcast, Johnny's like, "What if he saw Nathan?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." But then it turns out it was really just Britt sitting there, and Johnny was right. He's like, "Maybe it's Britt, and they're forcing her to work more than 8 hours a day."
I did love that part because
And
I'm
I'm
like, "That's how
laughing.
I feel."
And I'm laughing because 'cause I'm like, "Kinda." That's pretty much that's exactly what happened in that scene. But I was loving that, right? So Jason shows up, finds Britt. She obviously needs help. She has a bomb strapped to her ankle. Jason is
Mhm.
like, "I don't care. I am gonna leave my kid an orphan for you, okay?
Ugh, I cannot.
Did you say Joss? Bye." Oh my gosh, that was amazing. But for me, I'm like, hey, so Jason's back saving Britt, and I'm curious now because I'm like, okay, so is she gonna tell him? But it makes sense, right? How does Britt know that Jason doesn't know that she's WSB? She doesn't know
Right,
that.
right.
Like, it's like maybe like their third interaction or something before she finally says and casually mentions, yeah, and Jocelyn's here.
By the way,
WSB, and because I've been waiting for this moment for, like, Jason to find
yes.
out, and so he runs immediately, he's like, "Don't worry, you won't blow up yet." Okay?
Keep your bomb on, jeez.
So the thing is for me, when I saw Jason go there, he like, the way that they did it, like, those fight scenes, he has this, like, insta bruise on his forehead, like, he just looks bruised, and he's fighting for longer than Jason would ever have to fight. And we
Mhm.
have to watch painfully how long it takes for them to get themselves untied up. And I'm laughing because all of this is just to give Jocelyn a moment, right? Jason has to be beat up in air quotes extra
Mhm.
long so Jocelyn can get out and pull her weight. And I love the attitude Jason gives her. "Oh, you learned that from the WSB?" I was like, "Oh my god, not the time."
Okay.
And Vaughn's like, "Does he always act like your dad?" She's like, like, I was just like and he's like, "We're gonna talk about this when we get home." I'm like, "This is so freaking funny." It was so funny to me, but, I mean, did you not feel for Britt when he ran out?
I did because, she's mentioned the whole Carly situation not feeling
Oh,
like a
did she?
priority. Well,
I'm
when they
kidding,
first got together, right? I was like, "Duh."
she's mentioned it, like, all the time.
Yes, she is, but no, I did feel really bad, but at the same time, it was like what I love with how these characters have grown is that, we talked about Jason really kind of being a deadbeat dad, but then when he returned to his dad role, he's taking it as seriously as he can.
Yeah, yeah, I
Um
agree.
but that he's also, we talk about how Carly's a mama bear and how she's mother to many, but Jason is also father to many who is not
That's true.
his. So
That's true.
I love how he was fathering in that moment where, like that whole conversation with Rocco and Charlotte. It's like they're older, they're seeing things that we're like, oh my gosh, wow, like we're there. And here we are with
Yeah,
Jason, with Joss doing something. She is a grown woman. She can make her own decisions. She's doing something as dangerous as he did at that age, but for the mob, and
absolutely.
she's just doing it on the a different side of the law, and how do you deal with that messiness? And I just love seeing him trying to navigate this whole situation.
But it is a big deal, right? Because they
Mhm.
had to deal with Michael and Morgan's interest in the mob.
Yes.
And they did everything as a team between Jason, Carly, and Sunny to make sure that that never happened, that they never entered that world. Like, as much as Jason, Sunny, and Carly are in that world,
Mhm.
it's pretty clear cut that that was an absolute no for any other kid of theirs to follow suit. When I listen to you and how you're talking about his perspective of Jocelyn, I think about everything that they did. So it's sort of like you think you're past that phase. Like, we did it. I mean, Morgan obviously, she passed,
Yes.
but the point is they didn't kind of enter the mob. And I don't think anyone ever thought that they would need to protect Jocelyn from any kind of risky or dangerous life.
No.
No, and I thought when they stayed behind, like, when Jason left, I
Mhm.
just thought, they're staying behind for WSB business. I did not know that they were gonna go to Australia, and then they're like, "To protect Jocelyn's cover." I'm like, "What?"
Those are very choice words for sexy time.
Right? I'm like, "Who's this cover for, guys?"
Right?
I don't know. And I loved it. "We don't want Brennan to find out," and then he shows up, and I'm like, "Oh, no, daddy showed up. This is
That's so
not
funny. I was like, "Daddy, Brandon's at the door. Cover up."
it's just yeah, it's really, really bad because he's staring at this situation and he's just like, "No, no." Jason knows. I'm in Australia and Jason knows, and Jason is in Port Charles with Carly. Oh, no.
Mhm.
And then I was laughing. He's like, "What did you this was all for nothing." I'm like, "No, it's not. They blew up the site and Brit's back
Exactly.
in Port Charles. I'd say that's some kind of success." Mind you, I will say this. I really just felt that Brit could have taken Jammy Dude. Like, he's standing in front of her,
I
all like,
know.
I'm like, "Since when, Brit? Since when? Like, look at her return. Look at that sharp tongue. You're telling me you couldn't lunge at that guy and take his phone?"
Yeah, I wasn't impressed by that, I'm not gonna lie.
No, I felt like she totally could have saved herself in that moment and then gotten mad at Jason, right? So much could have happened
Yes,
at the same time.
save yourself or do something that you can amp up your anger about you.
And I loved I love, like, their back and forth, her anger, and Jason's like, "Can I just be your friend?" She's like, "No." Like, I love that she's just
Love
sort of
them.
not letting it slide. Like, the point is it really hurt her, and unlike a lot of people, she's not willing to just kinda give him that room blindly or just easily either, but I loved her asking for cash. That was so funny. She's like, "On second thought, do you have, like, 20, 40?" And I'm just like, I just love it because they're introducing a lot of comedy potential between these 2, and I feel like Jason, the character and the actor, right, evolve. Like, he does all these the actor does the comedy shows with Bradford, and I find, like, it's kind of a fun evolution of the character if he can be as playful as Brit.
Gosh, I absolutely love every scene they're in together between the commenting about his tattoo to him telling her to go back to sleep, like, their
I
banter back and
know.
forth and them poking at each other and her just straight up being like, "You're a bad friend." Like, I don't think Jason has ever heard that in his whole entire Jason Morgan life.
No, like, he's been praised, and at best, like, people have complained that he puts Carly first, but no one's really, like, ended a friendship. Well, Sam ended a marriage, but I mean, it was more than that. So again, we know that Carly is a big issue for her, but now Jason's back, and he walked in as Carly was talking to Anna.
Yes.
So, while Carly is an issue for many people, she's also an issue for Anna. I mean, can you say that? I mean, explain to me. Carly leaves the room, okay? And the first thing Anna does is, "Well, you're gonna have to pay for that with Carly."
I could
What's
not.
that?
I
It's
could
jealous
not.
girlfriend stuff. It's jealous best friend stuff. Like, being like, "Yay, you picked me." Like, I don't understand. Like, crushing on him? Why? Why did she need to, like, tug at that Carly string, given, like, the bigger issues at hand?
Because they're like the same mesh. They're like they come from the same place. They understand
Oh my
the
gosh.
core of their being. I'm like, "What is happening here?" Like,
Oh,
truly.
Jason shut that down. Like, she was
I
finally in the
loved it
fantasy
hard.
by herself. Like, we knew all this time that there
Mhm.
was a singular fantasy going on and it was not shared. And Jason wasn't having it. Like, I was stunned and taken aback by it, being like, "You didn't motivate me, you manipulated me." He was like,
Yes,
"I don't care if it was treason or somebody put you in Steinmauer, you should have told me." And exactly that, when she started saying, like, I was dragged in and trying to make them the same, Jason did not take kindly to making Sunny somehow the same as the WSB.
yes.
Oh my gosh, and so for me, I thought it was striking. He felt betrayed, and there was nothing she could really do, like, that was over, and that's the thing, like, not only did he say they're not the same, but he very much implied that Anna and Brennan are.
Yes, exactly.
So for me, it's like you have the return of Brit, and this is even though there was never an official romantic relationship, these 2 were in an entanglement, and they are no
Mhm.
longer entangled, and I always felt that when Jason returned, and then there was him and Carly, and then you have the Brennan Anna, right? Anna was, like, crushing on Jason, Brennan had his eye on Carly, and I always felt like wrong couple, like, when are we gonna, like, switch these around where
Yes.
Anna's with Brennan and Jason's with Carly. Again, I don't know because now you've cut ties. Brit is clearly back for like a Jason Brit romance. And I don't know
Yes.
if the goal is, oh no, I don't want to say
Oh,
it.
no.
Well, not that it's not going to be Brit and Jason, because, like, I mean, again, this is what I think the point is, but kind of recreating that Sam, Jason, Carly dynamic, you know, where he
That
has a girl.
cannot work.
I hope not, but, you know, the whole idea is that when Sam came in, Sam was a girl that kind of was a match for Jason, right? Like a fit for Jason. It wasn't like a Robin or an Elizabeth, you know, like a quiet girl. It was like, this was like the whole, here's a tough girl. She wears a leather jacket too. That was like the whole thing. Sam could, I wear a leather jacket. You wear a leather jacket. Oh my God. And so, like, they started like an epic romance. Like, at this point, Sam's, like, the person that was, like, closest to Jason that could fit in that world, that darker world, and this is the first time in a long time that you have another girl come along that, you know, is tough and could fit in a darker world. Again, she was like, "Cold fusion, no prob. I'm down."
Yeah.
You
Fit by
know?
death? No problem. Opportunity of a lifetime? Got it.
Right? So I'm just saying because, like, I don't think it's gonna be a real love triangle because I don't think that they're putting I think that they're not doing that, right? Brit's there for Jason, but it's being shoved in our face. Carly's an obstacle. Carly's an obstacle. Carly's the sore spot. And now with the whole Brennan thing, Jason's gonna be all over Carly because he's not gonna break his promise to Joss. I love that. I made a pinky
Boy,
promise. And if I hadn't made the pinky promise or like before, I could have told Carly and now I can't. So I'm like, what is going on?
this is so weird,
So
yeah.
now you're gonna have Jason getting really angry about the Brennan thing, gonna come off like jealousy, like, I don't know where that's gonna go,
Oh, right.
but it's gonna mimic it. Like, you see how he had like you see how he had like a not romance with Anna, but it had all the markings of one?
Yes.
This whole thing with Carly is gonna have all the markings of jealous boyfriend, but it's not going to really be that. But it's gonna cause all the same problems as if it were true.
Okay, I can
I
see it
think,
now.
right?
I could totally picture it because at the end of the day, Carly has created her own life. Like, we've talked about it before. You talked about it with Johnny too last week that there was a time where we thought, okay, this could work well together with them being back together, and anybody in between is just for now, but they're each other's like long game. I forget what it's called, but you know what I mean.
Endgame?
End game.
You're my long game.
Is that football?
I don't know when, I don't know where, but you're my long game. Find me, text me.
Welcome back, Mel.
No, but that's the thing, like, I think the time, if we were gonna revisit that, like, we would have had to have capitalized on the intensity when he first returned. There were so
Yes.
many slow, intense moments, "I did this for you." You know what I
Mhm.
mean? We would have had to have added something extra, though, to push it over the edge, but it would have been
Yes.
that.
I
Like,
completely agree. So right now it's just gonna be a bunch of trickery, but they're not gonna be together.
well, I mean, wouldn't that be weird? Brett comes back and then it's
Well,
like,
yeah.
he's like, Britt, like, I missed you, blah, blah, blah." I goes, "Sorry, I have all this drama going on." I'm like, "Okay." Like, I don't know. I really don't know. So we're gonna have to see what happens. But yeah, I think ultimately the whole point is to get him back with Britt. But I love Britt's return. Like, I was shocked. I did not know it would happen so speedily.
Me neither. And the fact of like, those little things that they pieced together for us, the dog running away, everybody being at the hospital at the same time, her
Yeah.
walking in and seeing like her whole world just at the front door. It was unbelievable. Like, you posted a clip of that scene, and I still get goosebumps when I look at it.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Like, all the real players, right? Like, friends, frenemies, family, everyone was present. And so, like, having Elizabeth be the one to see her Lulu's reaction, it's like the woman came back from the dead. A mother is seeing their
Yes,
child for the first time. I wasn't pleased with the pettiness. Like, to have Nina tell Dante, "Could you cool it?"
I
You know what I
know.
mean? Like, it's funny because everything has to be centered around Dante and Lulu's drama with Rocco.
Yes.
She came back from the dead, needs medication,
Yes.
and I'm like, "You're telling me the pharmacy just happens to be right across from Rocco's room?" Like, the fact that you're depriving this woman of medical care because you're too scared to deal with your kid, like, literally, go in the room and let her go to the pharmacy. What's wrong with you?
I can't she's just so annoying, and the thing is Rocco sees right through their
Oh,
little
yeah.
speech, and he's gonna make a beeline straight for Brett.
But that there after that whole discussion, "No, we're gonna have to be honest." And then she's like, "Maybe Brooklyn will tell him." I'm like,
So rude. Like,
honestly,
why?
you're grasping. Like, you're grasping. Like, this is your life, she's not even there, and you're dragging her into this. And honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, Brooklyn has no control of the fact of whether or not Brit would come back from the dead. Brooklyn didn't even find
Right?
her.
Oh my goodness.
No, and so, like, we have to be truthful. They take him home, and he was about to go upstairs. She's like,
I know.
"Okay." Like, Dante's like, "Dude, I don't live here. I came all this way to have a private conversation because we couldn't tell the kid the truth then." You know what I mean?
Such a
And just deal with
teenager.
it where everyone's there together. But what killed me was freaking Brit. "Ben's here?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes." Like,
Yes.
I
Love.
loved it. Like, I loved it. It's just so many people have tiptoed around Lulu, right?
Yes.
Even though Brooklyn and her went at it a lot, Brooklyn was absolutely tiptoeing. She was
Oh,
absolutely
100%.
fighting was like last ditch effort kind of a thing. She tried everything else. But I love it because Brit doesn't hold back. Like even with Dante, "Hi, how are you? Welcome back from the dead." And then Nina doesn't see, not that hard. Like I love it. No filter. And the fact that she's like, "I gave birth to him and I can't even see him." She's like, "What do you think? I'm gonna kidnap him?" And I was just like, "This is hilarious. This is
The
hilarious." Because at the
best.
end of the day, it doesn't really matter what Brit thinks. The point is, like, it's Ben, right? You know what I mean? Like, Brit could see Ben as hers, Obrecht could
Mhm.
see Ben as hers, but what matters is what Rocco sees.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, this is upsetting to her because she knows that Rocco, there's such a space there. There's absolutely such a space there. And this is just, I am going to enjoy this. Like, I'm owed this. I think we're all owed this. And
Oh,
I'm
yes.
owed drama happening to Lulu instead of her running around causing drama for everyone else.
No, like, it's amazing. Like you said, this is the payback. It's all directly from Brooklyn, but the fact that she has to deal with Valentine, Obrecht, and Britt right now in her life is amazing.
I mean, there is all those factors, but the truth is, it's all because of her, right? She thinks that it's them or her rather than
Yep.
just being a mom, and it's all about her. Like, if the kids felt like they
Yes.
had space to kind of be, as Laura has been trying to encourage Lulu to do, she would be a part of the whole thing. But either way, I like it this way. I like it this way better. And the thing is, it's like all this talk about going to be honest, then you're gonna lie, be like, no, she had to go. I really hope,
Oh,
because like, I
so
mean, do you
bad.
honestly think Brit's gonna corroborate your lie? You know what I mean?
Right?
Obrecht was gonna try for you, but like Brit has zero reason to. And of course, they're gonna be like, "They asked me to leave, I needed my medication." Like, I hope he finds out that detail because I don't know what Rocco will do when he's like, "My mom made you leave and you didn't get your medication." Like, "What?"
Yeah, he's totally gonna know.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And I'm sorry, like, not only does Liz need to work on being part of the mom club more hard in a more hardcore way, I was really upset when she stopped Lucas from telling Brad.
Me too. Like, of all the things that it makes no sense. None of what she was saying
No.
related to the actual fact that somebody came back from the dead and is his best friend.
No, like, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. She's going back into that space, right? Brit is the
Yeah.
root of all evil, and Brad was part of it's like, you don't even know what happened,
Mhm.
and she got slapped for what happened.
I
Her mo
know.
her
Well,
mama laid down the law, like, Nina was trying to be polite, but of course they deserved answers.
yeah, it's her mother. Like she said, she mourned every single day. So you tell me what's going on, and I will still slap you.
Do you think they're still gonna have a girls' night?
Oh, totally. Just not that night.
Oh my gosh. And also Lucas, right? All of a sudden, we got Lucas having, like, his own version of justice, being like, "I don't want justice for Drew, just justice for Marco." This is Lucas kind
Oh
of
boy.
tapping into, like, this gray area where he's gonna realize that, like, "Wait a second, maybe there's more to the story. Maybe things are a little bit shadier than I think."
Then he's still gonna be in love with Brad.
Yes, because that's the thing. Now with Brit back, you gotta bring back Brad. Like, we need Brit
Have to.
and Brad, like, it's a must. So I'm thinking, like, having like, the whole Marco stuff, it has to be escalated because Marco's on his, like, vengeance era, and he really wants to use the custody and Michael as a way to hurt Sonny,
Yes,
and that's not gonna fly with Lucas because of Wiley and also Michael being his family. So, yeah, I
exactly.
think things are gonna blow up there. I want that love
Hmm.
triangle of, like, Lucas being like, "What Sonny does for a living is wrong," and then you have Marco and Sidwell, and then you have Brad and Miss Wu. Like, yes, that's what I want.
Yes, I want it. I want it.
Yes,
Oh my
Lucas
gosh.
needs to
Okay.
learn. He needs to learn.
He does need to learn. He needs to learn that Brad is his long game. I know. That was on purpose for
I
humor. Okay, I think we covered all the things and talked about all this
but
stuff. I do
one.
have a question. Gosh, which one?
Well, what's your question? Maybe it's the same thing.
I wanted to know to pick at your brain for the sexy set for Joss and Vaughn because it
Okay.
was
Oh, yeah, yeah,
familiar to
yeah.
me, but I know you know.
Yeah, 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 it's where, like, Valentine was on that weird mission where we're like, "Is Valentine a bad guy?" And then there was that person who had jewels, and then I think she got arrested for something.
Was it the
And
same place
then
though with the blood transfusion thing?
blood transfusion.
Do you remember when like I think it was Carly had to give Jason her blood from her arm?
No, it
It's a
could be,
different
but
place.
no, like, the set I remember it from was when Anna and Felicia were tracking down something, and they were following Valentine, and Valentine was doing a caper, and that was the whole introduction to Valentine doing all this stuff for his Uncle Victor.
Okay, good. I knew you would know. I knew it was a reuse set, but they made it look so cute.
Yeah, and then Valentine was, like, pretending to be with this woman to switch or do some kinda diamond-y thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all the weird stuff Anna did to be like, what's my boyfriend doing?" Like, she followed him on this weird mission. She involved Lucy into something and then had to put Lucy in hiding and pretend she was dead, all this weird stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, what I will say is this, Ava Christina, I cannot
Oh
tell
my
you
gosh.
how
Yes.
much I love them being like, "Good idea," and trying to, like, work things out, and then Ava even complaining to Christina about Elizabeth.
No, but it was amazing. I like love them together because from the moment you said that they're the same people just in different clothing, I really they work really well together. I love this little trio. And Ava's whole thing is that all she really wants is family, guys. She just wants people to love
She
her
does,
and
though,
to be loved and to love others. So being
but
part of this like inside group of like kidnapping and covering up potential murders and like emailing, she's loving it.
But that's why I didn't like how Sunny ruined the vibe, because remember when, like,
Yeah.
Ava got close to Carly? Remember when Ava started getting close to Joss? Like, I actually really,
Yes.
really enjoyed that, but
Me
the
too.
thing for me, though, that stands out with Ava and Christina is that Christina's finally gonna get her training. This is where her
Yes.
mob training is coming, and then my favorite line comes from there. I could see the light bulb going off above the horns.
My god, the best line, honestly, the best line. I love
Yeah.
it too. It's way better. Like I had one too, but that was like my top one. The other line I have is when Britt and Jason are bantering and he's like, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, I just took a little nap." And he's like, "You were sleeping for like 4 hours." And she's like, "Well, I can't stare at my tray table for like 9 hours. Sometimes I even wonder if you're human or if you're just a robot and you should just reboot yourself." It was such a great way of saying like, "Go F yourself." It was great.
Yeah, they were really cute together.
Oh, we had a logistics corner that I don't know if you wrote down, but it did make me think of you.
Okay.
Where is this? Okay, so we were talking about um 2 weeks ago about Jacinda and how much money she got and that she's like
Yeah.
a really bad negotiator and all of that stuff. So we learned that, she spends a ton of money, but we learned that Drew gave her
Yeah, yeah.
$100,000 and she just loves to spend that cash.
Yeah, so Portia and Nina gave her like $5 to $6,000. It was
Yes.
such a low sum, and so we learned that he paid her off once he came to town because Curtis wanted her in town, but Drew got to her first. And so
Yeah, and
she
gave
went
her that
right
money.
yeah, and she, like, I guess, spent it at an expensive spa and hotel because she can't budget, and now she's back and she's making money off of this alibi.
I love it. I love all of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so who are you giving stars to this week?
Ooh, I for me, it's like the investigations. It was every time somebody went in for questioning with their lawyer, gold star that moment, Ross and Vaughn pulling out their guns when Brennan walked in. He's like, "Mr.
Yes.
and Mrs. Nash." I'm like, "Mr. and Mrs. Smith," or whatever it's really
Right?
trying to say. Jason breaking up with Anna, gold star.
Oh, yeah, big
Um
time. The biggest star.
Yes, yes. I think, Michael being like, "In your face, Dante," when he walked in and he had his shirt off, I'm like, "That was amazing." Obviously, Brit's return, Brett fainting, just being there. I loved it. I love Valentine.
Yes.
Like, we need
I think
another lawyer. Like, honestly, like, Portia's brother needs to come to town. Like, who's gonna be Willow's lawyer? Like, who's gonna be Nina's lawyer?
you know what? The more you say it and pointing out all these things, he just has to.
Like, between him and Scott, like, we need lawyers. Like, we need a couple more back. There's, like, people here, and you can't
There's a
apparently
shortage.
exactly, because apparently Diane can't represent 2 people for the same murder, and so you're gonna have Tracy left, you're gonna have Nina, they're gonna look into more, Willow, they're gonna look into more, we need more lawyers.
We do. Oh my gosh. Okay. Send in your applications for Charles lawyers.
Exactly.
Same stars for me. I have no different ones. They're all super awesome. What was your cutie pie moment of the
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to give it to Rocco and Charlotte hanging out together. It's just too sad to highlight Scout's life because the
I
poor girl,
know.
like, she's like, I can't see anybody, but I'm like, because like Danny, there's a restraining order, but I don't think like Molly was like, we all got one. We all have
I
this
know.
this letter, and her going to Willow. No offense, I just don't want to stay with you. I loved it. It was so good. I'm like, thank you, Scout. You just made my life. That was so good.
Honestly, adorable. Holy cow. And back. We did it. You did your secret episode. Here we are. We covered all the things. We did not cover one of the things. You need to share your handle for the cutie pie
Yes.
coloring
Oh
book.
my god. Can you say it again? We did all the things. Cause like, I hear you say it every week, and then when I had to do it with Johnny, I'm like, I am I saying it? Like, I took out the part where I had to repeat it 20 times because I didn't know what it was. Say it again.
We
We
covered
did
all
all
the
the
things.
things.
We talked about all the stuff.
Yeah, I'm never gonna remember that. I don't know why. It's just because it's your line, and it doesn't. It's not it's not getting through. So, in terms of the coloring book, it did make me laugh when I listened. It is a coloring book. The Cutie Pie coloring book is available on Amazon, and our handle on Instagram if you wanna go see some of the pages and stuff we've done with it. It's at Cutie Pie Coloring, I believe. I knew it last week. I knew it with confidence last week.
You absolutely did. Well, here we are. We talked about all the
Let's
things. We
trust it.
covered all of the stuff. We're going to trust that this is the handle. If not, you go to our Port
It's
Charles
talked
page
about
to
all the
find
things.
it.
It's talked about all the things and covered all the stuff.
You know what? I change it all the time.
Okay, so that's
It's whatever comes out of my mouth at the end when I'm tired. I've had a good time. I've laughed. I'm staring at my wine.
okay. Got it, got it.
Okay, let's try it one more time. We covered all the
All the
things. We
things.
talked about all the stuff.
Okay.
That's a wrap, folks. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye
Bye.
bye.